everywhere make a difference in the lives of others every day. And we'd like to introduce you to one woman who, after challenges of her own, is making a difference. Leah Barker was raised in a single-parent family with four siblings in Puerto Rico as a child, and she's overcome extreme poverty to become the CEO of Choice Humanitarian. Leah, thank you so much for joining us and well, really for telling your story. So tell me first about growing up in Puerto Rico and the obstacles you had to overcome there.
So I was born in the United States, and when my mom decided to go solo with 5 children, she was born and raised in Puerto Rico. She decided to be close to her family. So we all moved back to Puerto Rico, where I spent the following 20 years living in Puerto Rico with my family, and it was pretty extraordinary to go from a life living in Connecticut to living in a town in Puerto Rico that's not even on the map, and there were a lot of challenges. We moved in with my mom's sister at the time, who also was a single mother of 5 children, so 10 children, 2 adults, and one little hut with a latrine, outdoor bathroom. And both my mom and my aunt said, we're just going to focus on our education, and we're not going to worry too much about the poverty we're living in. We're just going to breeze through this and get ahead in life. And everybody decided at that point that they would focus on their education and do as they were told.
That is great. That's great. You talk a little about one of the hardest things is overcoming the mentality of poverty. So kind of explain that.
So when you're in poverty, there's a lot of fear. Will we have another meal? Will our utilities get shut down? Will the car break down? I mean, our mechanic was very creative in putting the muffler together with a hanger and charging my mom $5 for it. But you create there's that fear inside of you and that uncertainty. You can't predict the future. You don't know what it's going to hold. And then when you become an adult, that paradigm is still with you. Mm-hmm. And I find myself all the time, my kids will say, well, let's do this. I can't afford it. Is the first answer out of my mouth. I can't afford it. Well, I can afford it if I wanted to. Mm. Do I want to afford it? And it's just changing that mentality and really adapting your lifestyle to your new lifestyle and being able to get rid of what I call that stinking thinking that is what sets you up from the time that you're poor. And it just creates this mind frame of how life is, and it's mistaken.
And it's very mistaken. Yeah, and now look at you. I mean, you're the CEO of Choice Humanitarian. And kind of how did that come about? How did you get involved with them?
So I was involved with Choice, like most people are involved with Choice, for many years, volunteering. And so I volunteered with them for several years until 2009. When I officially joined the team. And I joined the team because the organization was going through some really, really difficult times. And I had already become emotionally invested in the organization. I love the cause. I love empowering people to overcome their own poverty by creating their path out of poverty, by creating their version of their path out of poverty. And that's what Choice is about. And so they suffered a tragic plane crash at the end of 2008, and I was worried about them as an organization. Would they be able to make it? They had just, at the time, laid off their CEO, and so I reached out to them a few months after this plane crash and said that I was interested in coming and helping out if they wanted me. And so they got organized as a board and offered me a position, and it's been really wonderful.
And there you are. One thing I always think is that nobody gets where they are in life without someone who really inspired them, without someone who offered them support. And who would you say that was for you?
Well, many people have inspired me to be where I am today, but I think that my mom for sure has played a critical role. This is a woman who, when she left my father, she had a high school diploma and 5 children. She went on to get her bachelor's 4.0, master's 4.0, and PhD, while single-handedly raising 5 kids, 5 very troubled children that had very little supervision. So we were on first name basis with cops and judges and things like that. But watching her navigate life and overcoming obstacles from childhood to adulthood, just when my life got to a point where I had to figure it out, I just said, well, do what she did. Get educated and, do not face obstacles and just move ahead and one day at a time.
And you did it, and bravo to you. I say thank you so much for sharing that with us. Thank you.
Thanks.
Everyday women overcoming extraordinary challenges remind us that we all have the potential to realize our dreams.